Welcome to the Startup Grind.
So when you're sitting in a room, do you remember anything you did as an entrepreneur when you're on boards? Do you give advice based on your past experience? Does it help you give better advice?
Yeah, it does.
And how so?
Particularly around hiring and raising capital. I've had to hire people and I've had to fire people, and I think I'm lucky because I was born with a very involved mom and two sisters, and my crazy Greek grandmother lived in the basement. Yes, like the movie. And and so I have a tendency to feel things more intensely, and so I have a good sense of people and intuition, whether they're a good fit for a company.
And so what do you think founders, you've now sat on how many boards? 23 boards or 20 boards?
In my life?
Yeah.
23 boards.
Yeah, so you've now seen enough of a pattern. But by the way, I just want to observe to the rest of you, this used to be the mistake I made when I was a founder, is I would see one VC and maybe two in my company. What I didn't realize is they were sitting on 5 to 10 boards at a time.
Yeah.
And so the ratio of their learning was at minimum. You know, even if they weren't doing any pattern recognition, they were seeing 5 to 10x more than I was every 6 weeks. Yet I was just seeing one of them. And you know what you don't even recognize as an entrepreneur is they're pulling up in the parking lot. They got to look up your name. I mean, they don't even remember who you are until the day you say, I think we might have a liquidity event here, and then all of a sudden you're the most important one. But what do you what kind of heuristics do you derive now?
You know, here's a really simple one I learned when I was doing startups, which is in the first company, Cats. If you asked everyone in the company what the company did, they told you exactly the same thing, and it wasn't because they were brainwashed by Rod, the founder. The next company, VPL, if you asked everyone in the company what they did, everyone gave you a completely different answer. So what that told me was that we had a founder, in that case, who had a vision but couldn't specify it with clarity and detail. There was no focus. And without that, all companies end. You cannot exist without focus. You can't actually execute and win.
So you mean a diagnostic might be for...
Yeah, so interesting diagnostic as a founder is ask everyone in the company what the company does and what the #1 goal is. And if you have divergent opinions, then you need to basically fix that. And the fixing of it is understanding what your vision is and why it makes sense and why it's exciting, and then what the product set is that materializes that vision.